know, like the DeLorean is such a cool, awesome, iconic car. It's the Back to the Future car. Everyone loves the DeLorean wherever you go.
Right.
But in its heart is this garbage motor.
This is this total boat anchor.
You know, a lot of people ask us on Jalopnik, what are cars? And what I often say to them is that they're big metal boxes we drive around in that are powered by engines. And today we're going to talk about one engine in particular that my beautiful car son, Raphael Orlov, and I are great fans of, the PRV V6, the Peugeot Renault Volvo V6 engine from the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, because it hails from an era when emissions laws were just like, kind of whatever, and you could just use the same motor for 30 years.
So what's funny about it is the PRV V6 goes back to 1966.
Oh, God.
When Peugeot and Renault first did a tie-up where they were going to work on an engine together. 66 is like the last gasp of like French national optimism. Like 68 comes around, just kicks everybody in the dick.
And it's been like that ever since.
It's been like that ever since. And they were originally going to make a V8. And they were even going to make a V8 even when Volvo joined in 71. But when 73 comes around, they're like, whoa, can we not do this? And it's by 74 that they have an engine. So it's like you can imagine switching from a V8 to a V6 in like a year is going to give you all sorts of design problems. Because it was a V6, because it was so like bad and wrong is exactly why it stuck around for so long. Because it was just this like, well, if we need something a little bit bigger, we could just stick this PRV V6 that we've got lying around in here.
And this is the long, long wind-up to what the Cargument is. And that's what was the worst car to use the PRV V6. And there were so many cars that had them. It was in Alpines, it was in Citroens, it was in Lancias, it was in Volvos, obviously, because they're the V in the PRV.
The first PRV V6
it was in
Volvo,
the Renault Espace. It was in minivans. It was in everything. I believe the worst application for that engine, though, is also the most obvious. It was the DMC 12 DeLorean. You got John Z. DeLorean, this former GM executive, like
super exec,
was like the brainchild of Pontiac during its golden years. He started his own car company. He wanted something cool in there. He wanted like a V8 or some shit, but he was like, it was a startup car company. It had all kinds of financial problems, and you get the sense when they got the PRV V6 for the DeLorean, he was just like, okay, whatever, it's there. Like everyone did with that motor. That was the reason you put it in anything. It was like, it's there, fuck it. And like the DeLorean is such a cool, awesome, iconic car. It's the Back to the Future car. Everyone loves the DeLorean wherever you go.
Right.
But in its heart is this garbage motor.
This is this total boat anchor.
It's slow and it's underpowered and it was not fast in its day. It would get dunked on by like a '90s Honda Civic. It was unreliable. Like that was like the worst thing about this otherwise awesome automobile that everybody loves.
Yeah, the DeLorean, it fell out of fashion right before it got its first claim to fame. Like the company completely ate it right before Back to the Future came out.
Like 83, and then Back to the Future is 85, I think.
And so, like, everyone appreciates it as the Back to the Future car, and now, like, as nostalgia for that wanes, everyone's just like, oh, the DeLorean's actually kind of lame. But I think they're actually kind of neat if you think about them as cars, because it's sort of like one of the last Lotuses that were ever made. Because Colin Chapman was hired in to do the design for it, like, once DMC really couldn't get its act together.
Yeah.
And I brought this up with noted Lotus expert Travis Sikulski, our old coworker, and who said, yes, it is just like a Lotus if you took all of Lotus's advice and then just did the opposite to it and made it all bad.
It wasn't simplify and add lightness. It was like make it heavier and also way shittier. What's your idea for the worst PRV V6 car?
Some people would say that the worst one is the Dodge Monaco / Eagle Premier.
Oh, God.
Which are two cars that
was in that, too.
We have collectively just sequestered into a corner of our minds that this was a new car sold to people, that it was good. Like, you would walk into a Dodge dealership and someone was paid to tell you, this is a Dodge Monaco, it's new and good, you should buy it. And instead of just like weeping.
If you went to like the Detroit Auto Show today and you like, told a Chrysler executive or asked them about that car, they would just kind of escort you out of the building permanently. Like, you can never come back.
But I found one which I think is even worse, and it is the Renault Safran.
I don't even know what that is. What the hell is a Renault Safran?
This is a car that Europeans keep from us because they don't want us to know about it. It is the worst thing that the French auto industry does. All they do is they sell it to like 4 mid-level executives at like a parts distributor or something every year, and that's it. And so the Safran was made from 92 to 2000. It was like a competitor to like the E-Class.
Sure it is, right?
It was made of, I think, like old soap that no one had lying around. And they made one version, which is just, it's something about it just drives me at the wall. They made a twin turbocharged version of this.
With a PRV V6.
With a PRV V6, which made all of 258 horsepower.
God, dark days, right?
Like front wheel drive, absolutely no distinguishing characteristics whatsoever. It is just the most like repellent thing to me that I could possibly imagine.
This is like one of those cars, like when if you're an American car enthusiast, you go to Europe, you see this like, oh, this is so cool, and then you drive it for like 30 seconds, you're like, actually, fuck.
Yeah, you're just like, some people are just not good at, this should never have been made.
Weird doesn't always mean good. Well, okay, you've got some sort of visual aid here.
So the PRV V6 was a terrible engine, but it was actually the engine which powered the car, the individual vehicle, which the Bugatti Veyron was personally designed to defeat. The
Which vehicle was this?
The Bugatti Veyron was a product of Ferdinand Piëch,
who
was also the guy who was in charge of the Porsche 917 program back when that was cleaning up at Le Mans.
Right, yeah. The mad genius of Volkswagen for a long time.
And for a long time, the 917 was like the fastest car of all cars. Until, I mean, other cars outpaced it, but for years, the fastest car ever to race at Le Mans, where the 917 raced, the fastest speed that ever did was 252 miles an hour, run by a team of 2 Peugeot engineers who cobbled together a single streamlined car with a twin turbo PRV V6, good for 910 horsepower.
Jesus.
The car couldn't do anything, had no hope of winning. So what they did was they cranked up the boost to like a gazillion and just ran it down the straight as fast as possible for a PR. And they went 407 kilometers an hour. And Ferdinand Piëch, when he was designing the Bugatti Veyron, he said, I want this road car to go faster than the fastest car that has ever gone down Le Mans, my stomping ground.
And they're like, well, we're Germans, they were French, like how hard can this be?
And so
basically,
the WM P88 of 1988 to 252 miles an hour, the Bugatti Veyron, 253.
Wow. So in the end, maybe the PRV V6 was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
No.
But it had a moment of glory.
Some of us never get our moments of glory. This wasn't really a Carguments so much as it was a car discussion, but I'm okay with that.
Well, I really wanted to talk about.
This is like we're running like 15
V6.
minutes now. Like Raymond is giving me the stink eye because he has to edit this, and he's just like, thank you as always for watching Carguments. If you enjoyed what you see, please like and subscribe on our various social and video channels, and definitely email us to tell us how you have a PRV V6 engine in your car, and it's the best engine you've ever owned, and we're full of shit, and it's great and reliable and not terrible and not slow. I can't wait to hear from you.
Look at how bad my visual aid is. It's just, I tried to make a timeline, and
that's not what timelines look like. You know this, yes?
Went the other way.